Welcome to the 2017 Avid Summer Institute Preparation Webinar. This year's theme is Discover, Engage, Succeed. You'll learn a lot more about that as you attend Avid Summer Institute, whether you're attending in San Diego or Sacramento. Welcome. My name is Mike Garcia. I'm the Avid Department Specialist for Mesa Public Schools. My contact number is 480-308-7557. It's a pleasure to finish out my third year as Avid Department Specialist with Mesa. Before that, I was an Avid elective teacher, Avid coordinator, and English teacher at one of our Avid schools. Welcome. In this webinar, you will receive an overview of these items. You will first receive an overview of the Mesa Public Schools Summer Institute website, the Avid site team, what to expect at Summer Institute, some travel reminders, how to navigate your launches and boosts, which is your e-learning that you'll do before and after Summer Institute, and we'll talk more about workplace communications. Let's start with the why behind professional learning and why you're attending Summer Institute with Mesa Public Schools. On the right, we have Mesa's mission. Take a moment to review Mesa's mission with me. The mission of Mesa Public Schools is to develop a highly educated and productive community, one student at a time. Now, let's look at our why we engage in professional learning. We engage in professional learning because our mission promises every student in MPS the opportunity to be highly educated and productive citizens. The learning and utilizing best practices is how we deliver on our promise. So the reason we attend professional learning, and Avid is some of the best professional learning you will attend, is to align with our mission to make sure that we are developing highly educated and productive community, one student at a time here in Mesa. Avid is one of the many ways that we do that. Let's begin by reviewing the MPS Avid website resources. You'll find a couple of website resources that you might want to explore. The first one is Avid's website, which is www.avid.org. The second one is our own Mesa Public Schools Avid website, which can be found at www.mpsez.org/Avid. Let's take a moment to go ahead and take a look at our Mesa Public Schools Avid website. You're going to start by opening up your browser and going to our Mesa Public Schools homepage. There you can go under Departments and you will find Avid under our departments. When you get to our homepage, you will see that this is the welcome page. To go to our Summer Institute materials, you'll need to go under More and Summer Institute Information. When you click on Summer Institute Information, you will see a couple of things here. First, directions on how to complete your site plans. Next, whether you're elementary or secondary, you'll find related information for Summer Institute. Then there's a welcome video that will tell you a little bit about Avid and the work that we do in Avid and who we affect by the work we do in Avid. So when you click on these links here, let's click on elementary just as an example. You will see all sorts of resources here on the left-hand side, including a nice picture of the city you'll be traveling to and the schedule that you will have at the Institute. Lots of important things here on the left-hand side. First is the travel guidelines that you all signed and received when you turned in your Avid Summer Institute contract. It's important that you review those again carefully before attending. Next is a Launches and Boosts Assistance Help tab. That will take you to the directions on how to complete your launches and boosts. Again, we have our site plan directions. These ones are red because they're very important at this point in time to keep track of. Then there's additional information that you might want to access as you are preparing for Summer Institute, including the 2017-2018 Avid Handbook, which I'll be referencing later on in this presentation, as well as the iVisions reimbursement instructions, as well as the link to join our Workplace Avid group. I will talk about all of these as we move forward through this presentation. So those are some of the resources you'll find on our website. Now, as we move forward, let's talk about the next agenda item, which is the site team. In your handbook, which I just showed you how to locate through our Avid website, you will find on page 19 the beginning of a description of what it means to be part of an Avid site team. I'm going to go over some of the highlights from that section for you here. If you want to pause the video and pull up the site team document and follow along, you're welcome to do that. Here's a definition of the Avid site team. The Avid site team is a team of administrators, counselors, teachers, and any others who work together to close the achievement gap and provide college readiness for all students by implementing Avid across their sites. So, when you're attending Summer Institute, you are part of the Summer Institute site team that will take part in this process. You may or may not be part of the site team when you return back. That's something you'll need to talk to your Avid coordinator and your administrator about. The site team's purpose is to collaborate to promote and provide access to rigorous content and instruction, develop a college-going culture, and implement Avid on your campus. If you're a new site, this is an incredibly important role. If you're a continuing site, then you'll need to talk to your Avid coordinator and your Avid principal in terms of what your role will be in the implementation of Avid on your campus. Site team actions. You will develop and implement a site team plan at Summer Institute. At least begin it at Summer Institute. You may not finish it until you get back. Then you will also be expected when you return to your classrooms to model and share WIC or instructional practices. It's expected that you implement what you are trained to implement when you attend Summer Institute. You're also expected to support high expectations for student learning and address equity issues on campus and in your classroom. These components will be part of all Avid Summer Institute training. So there you are as part of your site team. You'll be sitting in a room just like this with your site team members collaborating to establish the goals and the plan for Avid implementation in the coming year. Now on to what to expect at Summer Institute. Here's a generic schedule for you for day 0, day 1, day 2, and day 3. Your exact schedule with dates are on the Avid Summer Institute website, which is listed below. Overall, you will attend a 14-hour strand over the 3 days. This is where your learning will be. This is what your training time will be. And then you'll spend an additional 7 hours of site team planning time. You can see in the schedule here that those are mixed into the daily agendas that you have. On day 0, you'll be arriving in San Diego or Sacramento, depending on which city you're traveling to. Then you'll be checking in at 2 o'clock. We want you to check in right away, so at 2:30 you can be ready for our district site team meeting. Then we will meet until 5 o'clock on that day 0. On day 1, check-in will be open again just in case you missed it on day 0, and then there will be a grab-and-go breakfast, and then you'll be in site teams first. Will be the first meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning. Your strands will be generally from 12 to 5 o'clock with a lunch in between. On day 2, you'll start in your strands from 8 to 12. You'll do lunch, and then we'll have our site team time. And on day 3, you'll go to your strands. No site team time. You will depart San Diego or Sacramento after 2 p.m. and head home. So that's the schedule. If you'd like to see more, or I went too fast for you, once again, that's on our website. What else to expect at Summer Institute? Here are more details about your strand. In your strand, you will receive a specific curriculum based on the content you teach. You're going to Summer Institute for a very specific reason, because you fulfill an important role on your campus. And the training you will receive will give you the Avid strategies that will help you implement Avid within your role. You will receive training in that content in your strands, but you'll also receive curriculum books that you can share with others. And all of the strands will include common features such as WIC or instructional practices, focused note-taking application, and ideas for increasing rigorous instruction. At the site team meetings, you will work with your site team to develop a strategic plan for Avid implementation at your site. This plan can be an additional plan, or it can be integrated into the school plans you already have. If you're a continuing site, you'll review previous site team plans and data to make your continuing decisions. and you will individually commit to implementing individual components of the site team plan. Now, let's take a moment to view this short video, which will tell you a little bit more about Avid Summer Institute.
Mr. Avid? Yeah. Welcome to Avid. So glad to have you here. So to the left, easy check.
I'm here with 8 of my teachers. We have everything from our math department, social studies, English, special ed, our computer science team. So we have an eclectic group, but we're well represented, and all of our content areas are going to benefit from the time here.
I think I'm going to learn a lot of strategies to help not just the Avid students, but all of our students that are on campus. And I'm really excited about being able to bring the Avid strategies to all of our students.
I'm really kind of anxious about the fact that this is my last step towards becoming an Avid elective teacher. And I really hope I'm going to get everything I need for this year to be a success.
Most teachers, when they walk away from a conference, they hope to have one thing that they can take with them back to school, and they can implement it, and it works, and it's something that's tangible and measurable. Avid is going to provide this team with a whole list of things that they can go back.
It's your own little network right there. You've got friends to rely on, you've got colleagues to pass information with. I mean, you've got 3 days to learn everything. So with your site team, you can talk about things and bounce ideas off of each other.
The site team is the key part of everything that you do. It's what drives your building and what makes sure that Avid's a success. When you come to a site team meeting, you're going to be ready to take a look at all your school data so that you can be ready when the school year starts to get that plan in place and follow it.
It's learning, it's development and tools that we can actually use in our classroom versus just something we're going to put in a binder and set on our shelf and never look at again.
Stuff that I can take back to my content classes, not just for my Avid elective.
I really walked out of there with I think I had a huge grin on my face yesterday, because it was just like, I got this idea, and everything was just like, okay, let's get more, let's get more.
And then I had that aha moment. I was so excited. I was like a kid in the candy store. I was like, yes!
So what happens next? That's always going to be the question. What are we going to do next? What are we going to do next? I think now I'm going to be able to answer that question with some expertise, and it'll be based on the work that I've done over the 3 days here at the Avid Conference.
It's the ability to interact with other people, sharing lessons and ideas, and giving me their email and wanting to connect, and we're exchanging ideas.
I mean, when we went back to our hotel, we spent, I want to say, a good hour and a half just debriefing about what we all learned in different classrooms, and we were really excited about bringing this back to our school site.
This isn't just for Avid, it's for all content, it's for your PLCs, it's for any sort of collaboration.
It's just taking what I do, best practice, to the next level.
You know, it's given me the encouragement to take what I learned and bring it back to the classroom.
And you see students who have gone through the Avid process and come out with their stories. It's one of the most moving things you can sit through.
There's data that backs it up. We have student speakers that can attest to that it's life-changing, not just academically, but socially and for their families. So why would we not want to do that? If that's what we're here to do as teachers, is to change lives, why would we not want to equip ourselves and our students with those tools?
The 3 days have been awesome. I feel pumped, energized, and really excited to go back and share with the rest of my team what I've learned.
I just think Avid belongs incorporated into every school. All principals need to be equipped to provide their teachers with the support as they implement Avid, and we know it works. Get involved, buy in, get trained, be a part of the team.
Okay, welcome back from the video. I hope that inspired you a little bit more and helped clarify from the teacher and administrator, the general participant perspective, what you'll be seeing at Summer Institute. Next, let's talk a little bit about travel. If you're flying, thank you for working with our Concur system, and thank you for your patience in waiting for your specific day to book. For those of you that have had issues, thank you for your patience through those issues. If you have not yet received a confirmation, and you should have received one, please contact Travel Services immediately to make sure that you have your flight. For those of you that do have a flight already, remember that it should have been booked within our specified arrival and departure times. Those times are firm to make sure that you can attend the Summer Institute in full. And you'll need to make sure you save electronic copies or paper copies that you can later scan in as electronic copies of your boarding passes for reimbursement. You'll also want to save any baggage fee receipts that you incurred during the flight. Those of you that are driving, make sure that you're documenting your beginning and ending mileage to and from the Institute City. You'll be asked to report that during reimbursement. And just also keep in mind that although you chose to drive, flying was the district approved method, so you will only be reimbursed up to the lowest cost of the airfare, because driving was a choice that you made outside of the district approved plan to fly. Once you get there, in terms of ground transportation, just keep in mind that it is Arizona state policy that the most affordable option be taken within reason. We want you to be aware as well that this is only covering you to and from the airport, so personal travel in between is not reimbursable. We ask you as well to share cars if possible. So if there is a group of you and 3 or 4 of you can share a Super Shuttle, an Uber, or a Lyft, or a cab, then that is going to also be a good option because it will save the district some money. Whoever pays for it will just need to save the receipts to make sure that they are reimbursed upon return. Meals. Meals are a little bit different if you've traveled with us in the past. No receipts will be needed for food, but you do want to save your receipts so you can report the exact amounts. This year, you'll need to report the exact amounts that you spent on food, and you will only be reimbursed for what you actually spent. To figure out what your actual meal allowance is per day, you'll need to review the travel policy document, which is found on the Avid Summer Institute website, on our Mesa Public Schools Avid Summer Institute website. You've signed that document, you've read that document already, but you'll probably need to go back and review what your daily allowance is. You won't want to go over that allowance if you want to be reimbursed for the full amount. To help you out, there are discounts available to all Summer Institute attendees. These are given to you when you arrive at the Summer Institute. So definitely take advantage of those cost-saving deals as well. Hotels. Please double check to make sure that you and or your roommate have secured a hotel reservation. The district is not responsible for booking your hotel. So if you don't have a confirmation, you may want to double check and make sure you do. The worst thing that could happen is you arrive and there is no room reserved for you. So please make sure you have done that. Don't assume someone has made a reservation for you if you haven't already had that confirmed. When you pay for your room, whether you split it or pay for it on your own, make sure that you save your receipts, and those receipts will need to show a zero balance. They will also be submitted during your reimbursement process. Which leads us to reimbursement. You need to make sure, those of you attending San Diego, you will need to make sure that you turn in your reimbursement within 20 days. If you miss that 20-day window, you will not be reimbursed. Let me repeat. Those of you traveling to San Diego, if you do not turn in your reimbursement within 20 days, you will not be reimbursed. Please make sure you share that with your traveling companions and your colleagues who may not be viewing this video. Reimbursement will occur only on iVisions, so make sure that you are aware of how to use iVisions. There are instructions on our Mesa Public Schools Summer Institute Avid page if you want to take a look at those. And usually access to iVisions is only available within our own district intranet, so it might be a good idea to get your team together, come into school one day, and complete those reimbursements. You will need copies of airline boarding passes, baggage fee receipts, lodging receipts, registration confirmation, ground transportation receipts, and mileage if reporting mileage. All of these items are again detailed in the travel policies on the Mesa Public Schools Avid Summer Institute website. You may also receive communication that you are to complete launches and boosts for Summer Institute. Those of you that are at secondary schools will have launches and boosts. Those of you at elementaries will only have launches. The launches will need to be completed before Summer Institute. The boosts will need to be completed after Summer Institute. Instructions can be found on the Mesa Public Schools Avid website, once again at www.mpsaz.org/avid/SI. Are you catching a theme? All of the resources are there for you on the Mesa Public Schools Avid Summer Institute website. Finally, let's talk about our workplace group. In the past, we've used Remind.com to send you important reminders as you're traveling to Summer Institute. This year, we're going to take advantage of Workplace. Workplace is like Facebook, but it's for work. And so Mesa Public Schools has a workplace group that we've created for Workplace Avid. If you would like to join, here's the join address. You just type this address into your URL, or visit our Mesa Public Schools Avid Summer Institute website, and there's a button that will take you to the join address as well. When you join this, you'll receive important updates, not just at Summer Institute, but also throughout the school year about what's going on in Avid. Last year, this came in handy at Summer Institute when we had things happen like, flights being canceled and room changes. So those were important points of communication for us. So if you'd like to stay informed, I highly recommend you join our workplace group. Once again, if you have any questions, first check with your Avid Site Coordinator. Your Avid Site Coordinator is incredibly intelligent and full of knowledge. And if you need further assistance, call or email me. My phone number is at 480-308-7557. My email address is mbgarcia@mpsaz.org. Goodbye, thank you, and safe travels. I appreciate you spending a few minutes with me learning about Summer Institute. Thank you.